which is known as brand elements. This plays important role. This plays important role. That is, brand elements are the most important thing we can say. If you are using your brand elements, then it will differentiate the brand. It will differentiate the brand from your competitors. Customer can be able to identify the products or services or whatever you are doing branding very easily. Nowadays, institutions also need to do branding. So if the brand elements has been used properly, we can customers, our own customer, our target market, our segment, people, our prospects can easily identify our brand if the elements are being executional, if it has been execution properly, right? And whatever the brand elements you are using, it should be all, whatever the communication you are doing, it should be same, it should be consistent. All the brand elements, whatever you are using, it should be consistent throughout all your communication, throughout all your store design, throughout your all employees if they are communicating with the customer, and all other elements, whatever you are using for the marketing, use your brand elements in the same way. Then only people will be able to differentiate the things. Otherwise, if you are showing different elements at a different point of time, they will not recognize you. They will not identify you, right? So if the brand elements is being done proper, then it will create the brand personality. And if the brand personality is being created into the environment, then it will give a particular brand positioning into the minds of your customer, of your segment, of your target market, right? So the most important thing here is, that is our brand elements. Brand elements execution should be done very properly, right? So the first brand element is name. Name should be very sweet and short, and it should be memorable, right? So the first element is name, that what name you are going to keep of your brand. Another is which type of logo you are going to design, right? The third thing is, in the logo, which type of symbol you are going to use. That is, I've given the example also. This is very well, means if you are using the swoosh, then that is a Nike, right? Then the third thing is, that is we can say color, right? Color. Then the example is orange. Then how you are using the color, that is also very important, and that is the best, very important brand element. Another thing is which type of fonts you are using for your logo, right? Then the third thing is, another brand element is tagline, which is very important, and where the people is always remembering you, right? Say for example, McDonald's, I am loving it, right? So tagline is also a very important brand element, we can say. Which type of characters you are using, or the endorsement you are using in your brand, that is also one type of brand element, right? Another thing is, that is sound or music. Some of the companies are also using sound or music in order to recall the brand. So that is also one of the brand element which is being done. Shape, that in which shape you are giving the products, right? That is the shape of the bottle of Thumbs Up and shape of the bottle of Pepsi, it is different. And through that also you are doing the branding. So that shape is also a brand element. And the language, sometimes the language is also in there, that McDonald's is using the language, that is their own language they have created, and they have also taken the tag mark of that particular thing, right? So language is also very important, and means all the brands are not using, but some of the brands are been using, and they are also doing the tag marking. So these are all the brand elements which are very important, right? So whenever you are choosing this brand elements now, whenever you are choosing all these brand elements, then the first thing is, whatever the brand elements you are using, it should be memorable. It should be easily recognized. It should be easily recalled. Then only we can say that you have used your brand elements in a better way. Another thing is, it should be meaningful, means it should be descriptive. It should be possessive, right? So whatever the brand elements you are using, it should be meaningful. It should not be so a brand element is going this way and you are using your logo in another way. It should not be so. It should be likable, means whatever the brand elements you are using, it should be likable. It should create some fun also. It should create some interesting visuals and verbal pleasing also. Another thing is, whatever the brand elements you are using, it should be transferable, means you are not only going to work at national level, but you have to take into consideration that yes, my product is going globally also, around many cultures, around many geography, right? So whatever the brand elements you are using for your branding, it should be transferable, right? Another thing is, it should be adaptable. Whatever brand elements you are using, it should be adaptable. It should not be so that yes, we are going to use this only, we are not going to change, though the people are reacting, though the customers are not getting the branding into consideration, though we are not going to change. No, it should not be so. And it should be protectable, means it should be registered, it should be tag mark, right? So whatever the brand name is being there, it should be registered, right? Otherwise many of the people will use your name, right? So if I'm talking regarding memorable, right? So I'm giving each and every of the example, right? So if I'm talking regarding memorable, then the best brand is Google, right? It is easily recognizable, easily recall. Okay, if I want any information, just Google it. Memorable, very memorable. Another meaningful means WhatsApp. WhatsApp is the best example for meaningful, because whatever the features it is giving, it is showing in your it has used the brand elements very well. Means it is into calling, it is into chat. Things are being shown in the symbol itself. Likeable, if I'm talking regarding likeable, then Air India is using this Maharaja, right? Air India is using Maharaja, right? So Maharaja is also been means we can say that it is very interesting kind of character which is being used by Air India. And let me add into this also, that is Maharaja is the India's, we can say, first character which has been launched for the created animated spoke characters, which has been used in the advertisement and which is being made by particular Indians only, right? Another thing is transferable. If I'm saying transferable, then Amazon here is the best example, because it is having an arrow from A to Z, and from different geography also, from all over the world. It is means dealing with the products and services, what means products, and it is also giving the services, right? So transferable. Then adaptable. You can see in adaptable, that is Starbucks is very flexible enough, that is starting from that is 1971 till present, it has changed the logos like anything, because of the changes in the minds of the customer. It has also been changed. It is not, means Starbucks is not that much rigid enough, it is very flexible enough. Another thing is protectable. In the protectable, Make My Trip is the best example. Means why it is the example, because make my yatra, make my journey, make my happy journey, pick my trip, and superb my trip. These are all the types of we can say that as portals were there which were offering the holidays, right, in December approximately 2019. And at that point of time, Make My Trip was a tag mark, and these people were using the name. So Make My Trip sued all these companies for not using it, using their names, right? That is Me Too names. So if you are protectable and legally, means if you are a registered brand, then you can easily sue the companies which is using Me Too kind of names also. So choosing your brand name, brand elements, it is very, very important.